Hello, welcome to this episode of Hampton Roads Business Live. My name is Roy Graham and I'm your host, and today we have the pleasure of having with us Michael Smid from MFS Photography here in Hampton Roads. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Why don't we start with an overview of what is MFS Photography?
MFS Photography, it's a company that's been around since 1989, and there is absolutely nothing that we do not photograph.
Okay.
I mean, we have done button catalogs, we have done weddings, we have done coffins. There is nothing that isn't manufactured that isn't photographed. That's correct, yeah. Nothing doesn't get photographed.
So commercial or?
We do commercial photography. We also do the weddings and the portraits and the pets and home interiors, exteriors. Go to the website, mfsphotography.net, and it's all there.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff that's very pretty.
Yeah.
You've been in business, in the photography business for 50 years.
50 plus years,
50
yeah.
plus years, okay. So a lot's changed, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Certainly has in my business, I'm assuming yours too.
I'm not quite Ansel Adams, but we go back quite a ways. 1965 was the beginning. It was my first job in the photography business. And it was in 17 years of the studios in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And I learned a lot. And we progress up from photo assistant to photographer to studio manager. It's one of those type of careers. And after 17 years, I got an opportunity to move to a studio in High Point, North Carolina as a studio manager, which I thought was the greatest thing in the world. Well, after 10 years, I found out that it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, that it was nothing but budgets and human resource problems. I would have to get to work a half hour early just to get my part of the job done before the troubles began. So after 10 years of that, I decided I'd just do it on my own. And I got back into photography as a photographer, and I loved it. It was all the creative things I always wanted to do again. And it was just like a whole new beginning for me.
So what advice do you have for someone getting into the photography business?
A lot of young people come to me and they ask that question. And they say, where should I go to school for photography? And I say, don't go to school for photography. Go to school for art. You need composition, you need lighting, you need color. You have to learn all that to be a good photographer. F-stops and shutter speeds, just about anybody can learn that. That has nothing to do with creativity, per se. So I always advise them to go ahead and get a career in art. If you're going to do it as a business, then obviously you need to take business courses as well, because that can be a problem also.
Right. Well, it certainly can help.
Yeah.
All right. So some of the changes, I mean, do you that you've seen? I mean, I know some photographers are into Photoshop stuff and retouching and all that. Is that something you've gotten into?
Oh, sure. Almost have to. Just as an example, I was photographing a home the other day for a local realtor, and it was beige aluminum siding, but part of the front of the house was white brick. Well, she wanted to have that painted, but since I was there, she asked me, can I change the color of the brick to match the siding? So yes, you get into that. It was no problem. I mean, you just put it in Photoshop and you do it. It's not a problem, but yes, quite a few changes. I mean, if you want to go back to my beginning, you know, we did actually use film. And everything we photographed was sheet film. We never shot anything smaller than an 8x10. So we did 8x10s, 10x12s, and 11x14s. Anything that was a transparency, which to most people would be a slide, was an 8x10. If you wanted contact, if you wanted prints, 10x12 or 11x14, we shot that size film. And they made contact prints. They'd never used enlargers. It was always, so you had sheet film that was, you know, it's like a bed sheet. And you had to process it by hand in the black and white. And
come a long way, huh?
Come a long way, yeah. Fingerprints and all that kind of good stuff. And your hands were in the chemicals so long every day that you actually got silver under the nails. Your nails turned black. But So now it's Photoshop.
well,
Makes things a lot easier.
A lot easier, okay. So let's just go through some of the different areas. You mentioned commercial, but can you break that down a little bit, some of the commercial type of work you do?
Well, I refer to commercial as product photography primarily. I'm very heavy into furniture, home furnishings photography. I have a lot of background in that. I shoot it for the manufacturer or importer of that furniture, and then I may turn around and photograph it again for your local retailer like Haynes or Grand Furniture, one of those people. But anything, again, that's manufactured and is photographed, I consider that commercial. Things like weddings, pets, or portraits.
I saw some really pretty pet photos that you had on there.
Yeah,
Really
I enjoy
unusual.
doing those.
Yeah.
Those are a lot of fun. Because you only get one chance. You know, everything's done with electronic flash, high speed, blah, blah, blah. And you got to get that instant. I mean, you know, you can't have the tongue hanging out, you can't have this, you can't have that. So you take 20, 30 shots and you get one good one. And that's
Right.
when it counts. That's the money shot.
Right.
So that's the real difference is in the commercial is in the that's where the dollars are. That's where you make the money.
Right. So I mean, you've had a long career, and most businesses don't get past the 5-year mark. So what do you attribute your success to?
Probably my clientele. I have a lot of in the commercial end, a lot of old-time clients, repeat business. I've been shooting them since I became my own business back in '89. I started the same clients.
Right.
So that's helped a lot. The other end, where you're doing the pets and the portraits and the realty photography, that's an open market, and you know, they go with the cheapest possible. There's no loyalty there. So it's an ongoing process of trying to hang on to that business. Where on the commercial end, you get more loyalty there. I've had clients in the commercial end that may be starting out a business, and they call me for photography, and we discuss the price and whatnot, and we do the photography, and they'll say, you know, I can't afford all that right now. Can I just pay you 10% now, and I'll catch up with you later? I say, fine, you do that. So now after, 15, 20 years, their business has grown very well, and they were appreciative of what you did in the past, and you develop a relationship with your clients.
Right.
Getting new clients is in the commercial end used to be difficult. I used to just go ahead and contact someone. I use a client in North Carolina, Vietri. They manufacture and import Italian dishware.
Mm-hmm.
I contacted them, and they were nibbling. They sounded like maybe they could do some photography. And I mentioned that I would come out and do it for nothing, one shot, which one shot for them is a big deal. And I wouldn't charge them anything, just so they could see how I worked and what the end result was. I've had them now for at least 15 years. Same thing,
Right.
You develop a relationship with people, and which is nice. They appreciate it, I appreciate it. It's a fun thing to do.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, and so if someone is interested in talking to you about this, and we're going to have your contact information on the page and on the video, but what's the process? They call you, and then what?
They can call me, they can email me, either one. I need to know, obviously, what it is that they need photographed. I mean, are we talking a commercial thing? Are we talking a portrait? Or whatever the case may be. We know details, distance, where is it, what are the times.
And then you give them an estimate?
Then we give an estimate, yeah.
Okay. So that's a
Correct.
free consultation with you just to talk
Oh,
to you
sure.
about it? Okay.
Definitely,
All right, cool.
definitely. When we get into weddings and whatnot, I highly encourage them to either come to me or I will come to them with samples of previous weddings. You can look on the website and you can see some photographs, but you don't see the entire wedding that I can present to you to see.
Right.
And
Okay.
That's all free.
All right. Is there anything I haven't covered that you want to mention? 50 years, you got a lot to say, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I can tell you all kinds of war stories and whatnot, but it's just a fun occupation. Every day it's something different. A lot of my clients refer to me as MacGyver because you run into these problems and you have to come up with some immediate solution because you've got all these people waiting, and it can get frustrating at times, but you need to just concentrate, relax, you know.
You certainly seem to be passionate about it.
I am. I just love photography.
All right. Well, if you would like to hire a passionate photographer who certainly knows his craft, been in it an awful long time, and works all over Hampton Roads, you can give Michael a call. His contact information is at the end of this video, and it's also at the bottom of this page. I thank you for coming in, and
Appreciate it.
I wish you a great deal of success.
Thank you very much.
All right.